Hello everyone. Welcome to the channel. Mira here. And recently we've received a very interesting interview related to Neo the World Ends With You. And there's a lot of cool stuff from this interview from RPG Site, which is a website that covers a lot of RPG content, so check it out. Also, to be saying, I will not be discussing every question in this interview, so please be sure to visit the source interview, which is in the description down below, to see everything that this interview has to offer. And without further ado, let's dive in. Can you describe how and when Neo the World Ends With You was originally conceived? When did you know you wanted to make a sequel to the original DS game? And what challenges were there in greenlighting one? When we released The World Ends With You, many fans of that game showed their desire for a sequel. We've always kept this in mind and wanted to look into doing a new installment in the series. However, the first game was very unique, which made it difficult to develop the game if we were not able to commit a development team to work only on this series. Luckily, we were able to have the same team that worked on The World Ends With You final remix for the Switch continue their work on the series. That same team was behind the development of Neo the World Ends With You. Personally, I'm really glad that the TWEWY series managed to get a dedicated team with Final Remix and Neo. I currently hold optimistic thoughts for this team, and I'm really looking forward to see the amazing TWEWY games they make in the future. Also looking forward to see this team flourish and grow heavily as a development team with gaining new members in the future. This team really has the potential to be one of the many leading teams at Square Enix, and I hope that they see the potential that these talented people have as well. How did you decide in creating a new team of characters for the new game? Considering it has been 14 years since the release of the first game, instead of creating a story where that title's protagonists appear just as they had before, we created the game so new characters will be the center of action, making it easier for those new to the series to enter the world of The World Ends With You. Of course, the story unfolds in certain ways to make it a very satisfying experience for fans of the previous game as well. I feel like it was really a smart and great choice overall to bring forth a new cast of characters in Neo. It really keeps things fresh with a brand new cast that has their own personalities, they have their own issues in life that we get to see them triumph and overcome throughout the course of the game. They have their own character arcs. I like how they also include some characters from the original game and gave them and the new cast some interaction and conversations to see how they will both interact and basically have this just interaction basically. I also think that the cast in Neo held a great amount of charm and charisma, like the original cast did, and I would love to see more of them in the future. Whether it be a full-on manga adaptation or an anime adaptation, literally anything, even crossovers. Put them in Kingdom Hearts 4, bro! What was the inspiration for Rendo's replay mechanic? The replay ability itself was an idea from Mr. Tetsuya Nomura, the creative producer and character designer of this title. In order to further showcase that the characters can use special abilities, even more so than in the previous title, we allocated original psychs to each main characters in this title. For example, Rendo has the power to turn back time, and now you can dive into people's minds. Due to the nature of Fred's character, we wanted to provide him with a psych that at first glance is meaningless. To that end, he was given the ability to remember things that people had forgotten, but as you'll see, he contributes a lot to the story, ultimately making him a very interesting character. Nomura is back at it again with his ideas. I really find it cool that he actually inspired and brought up the idea of Rendo's replay ability. The time travel in Neo was a really cool element brought to the game. It wasn't overly overpowered, but it definitely gave Rendo the edge and even tied into the main plot heavily, with us trying to undo every mistake we make within the game. And it just ends up biting us in the back at the end of things, showing us that trying to fix every issue just creates more in the long run. I really found it unique how they ended up giving every character, at least in the main cast, their own thing, with Rendo having replay, Fred having remind, and Nagi having dive. Were there any games mechanics or story ideas that the development team wanted to explore, but maybe didn't have the time to implement into the full game? We did deliberate how far to extend the map for this title. since such matters as whether to include Shinjuku or not would greatly affect the story. We ended up with the current map to structure, having decided to pursue the perspective of diving deeper into Shibuya from Rindo and the team's point of view for this title. As for story ideas, I might use them for other titles in the future, so I won't mention them here. When we were early in development of the game, the controls were, in a way, sort of replacement for the touch panels. The player would aim and attack enemies in 3D areas using gyro sensors. That was fun in itself, but we ultimately decided to forego the idea, as it took a lot of work to get used to the controls. Okay, so now, this was a lot to take in. First off, I'ma say, thanks for not incorporating gyro controls. I love having functioning wrists, and I like to keep them staying that way. But now let's get on to the meat of this answer. Early in the development cycle, there were talks of adding Shinjuku as a playable area, which is insane. Neo made me want to explore Shinjuku heavily as some sort of prequel DLC with Sugami, or even its own game. And the fact that Kondo himself confirmed that he has more ideas to bring to this franchise is pretty wild and shows us that this series is far from over and is really just beginning if we think about it. I just can't wait to see the ideas that he has currently be made in the future TWEWY projects. This is going to be great. Now with 2 games, a few ports, and an anime adaptation of the first title, do you know what's next for the series? To be completely honest, we do not have anything planned for a new installment or the like. The World Ends With You games have been taking place in Shibuya, and as a result there are of course many parts of the city that we have not explored yet. And I would love to look into making it happen down the line if fans of the series convey their passion for the game to us. Our company may decide to let us make a sequel. I poured all the thoughts and feelings I've had for the series, built up over the last 14 years, into this latest title. I feel like I've given it my all. I almost feel like all that is left is an empty shell, unable to think of anything at this moment. However, I've been taking in fan feedback and reactions, and over time I hope to recharge myself with even more thoughts and feelings about The World Ends With You again. This is basically confirming that they have big ideas for the future of the series, but no specific project is planned at the current time, at least for now. But there may be one happening that no one knows about. You really never know. They put tons of work into this wonderful sequel and now need time for a break and to recharge, as Kondo stated in the interview, which will be a much deserved break. Hirano stated that there is a possibility for us to keep getting games as long as we as a community continue to show how much we really want a new game to both the team and the Square Enix, as Square really holds the most power here, whether we get one or not. This really gives us the message that to be as passionate as possible about this series and to show how much we want a new installment. And I strongly believe that we can get one, and we will get one because we managed to get Neo The World Ends With You. And who knows, maybe Nomura will even put in a good word about the franchise to Square, since it really seems like he himself holds passion for TWEWY as a series. He designs many of the characters and gives his own input and ideas to the team about the series. So currently, I am very optimistic and hopeful that we'll see more of this franchise in the future, whether it's distant or near. And that was the interview. Be sure once again to read the full interview in the description down below. And yeah, this was a very fun video, honestly. I love discussing interviews for my favorite franchises, whether the interview is old or new. So if you would like to see more content on interviews in the future, be sure to let me know down below. And thank you all for making it this far into the video. This has been Mira. If you've enjoyed the video, be sure to like the video, comment what you think about it, and subscribe. Also be sure to click that bell icon so you never miss another one of my videos ever again, whether it be a TWEWY video like this one or a Kingdom Hearts video. Plus it helps out the channel tons. Also, we have a community Discord down below. It's a nice server where we can talk it out, maybe watch some movies, and overall have tons of fun. Once again, I would like to thank you all for the support I've been getting in the first few months of YouTube. That has been great, and I'm looking forward to see all the milestones we make as we climb to the top in this site. thank you all, and I will see you all next time.